Hi there everybody and happy Video Monday. Today I am at home taking what I like to call a mental health day. It's sort of like a sick day, but I'm not sick. It's just simply a day that I am taking for myself. I'm not scheduling clients, I'm not teaching any classes, and I'm just taking care of me and therefore my mental health. I'm doing whatever I want to do for the whole day. I'm relaxing, I'm taking lots of deep breaths, I'm stretching at the floor, I'm staying cozy by the fireplace, and these days are really important to take. On that note, the note of mental health, I want to talk to you for today's video about anxiety. About 5 people in the last 2 weeks have messaged me asking me about anxiety and about things you can do to deal with it naturally. Anxiety is something that is particularly close to home for me, and so I certainly want to take the time today to talk to you guys and to connect to you about this. So, I myself actually have always kind of had a struggle with anxiety. It's definitely come and gone, and there were times where certainly I struggled with this intensely, and right now I'm at a time in my life where you know it's very mild for me, and it just kind of comes up certain days or certain weeks, or it'll get triggered by certain events. But for the most part these days I've found ways to manage it. And I mean, as an adult, obviously that's easier than when you're a kid. I had a lot of anxiety when I was a kid, and then it really reached a peak for me about 7 years ago now, after I lost my father. I was in a serious mess. I felt like I was completely losing control and I couldn't breathe. And actually at that time, I found yoga. And this is where my journey into yoga began, because yoga was a really, really incredible healing force in my life at a time where I didn't know what to do. I thought I was just going to lose it. So what happened is I went to a class, and for the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. I found connection to my breath, and for a second I felt, you know, a little bit of myself, like at least a little bit of myself. And at that time I was feeling completely disconnected from who I was, and I was so depressed and all of that. So yoga helped me find my breath, and it really truly began my journey back to me, back to myself. So if you haven't already tried yoga, I certainly recommend you begin a practice, whether it be at home or at a studio, to help you manage the anxiety naturally. If you know that doesn't feel right for whatever reason, in general, movement, so going for walks or going for a run, any kind of physical movement will likely help you to move that energy that feels stuck or that feels stagnant. And anything that resonates for you could be helpful in terms of that. So usually with anxiety, it feels like things are stuck, feels like things are stagnant, emotions are being stuffed away. You got to get that stuff out. There's a quote that goes, "The only way out is through." It's one of my favorite quotes, and I truly believe that. So the key is not running from those feelings. And often with anxiety, I think it's hard to get in touch with what you're even feeling. It's just the sense of being out of control. So you have to get to the root of that. I think physical movement, and certainly yoga and breath work, is a way to start to move whatever that is, so that you can process it and therefore let it go. Beyond this, another thing that I found incredibly helpful over the years with regards to managing anxiety is CDs or books on tape, specifically by authors like Eckhart Tolle, Marianne Williamson, Wayne Dyer. I love Abraham Hicks. These authors all have spiritual discourses on tape, and they're really, really good for getting out of your head. So often at night, especially, people can become anxious because their to-do list is done now, and they're just left with themselves, and the thoughts start to kick in, right? Like racing thoughts. And those thoughts can kind of lead us towards emotional eating or self-sabotaging ourselves in one way or another. And so putting these tapes on when you get home and just having them in the background, do what you do your dishes, whatever you have to do, make your kids lunches, but having those CDs on in the background, I encourage you to try it. Don't underestimate how powerful it can be. It is amazing. So you need to get out of that thinking place with anxiety and back into that feeling place. That's what I encourage you to do. And just one more thing. What I also find is sometimes I'll be walking down the street and notice that I'm feeling really anxious, and I just kind of put my hand on my heart while I'm walking, and I find right away there's two things I think that happen. It helps me find my breath, but it also just kind of, again, reinforces that connection with self. And you have to start to get to that place when you're dealing with anxiety where you start to, on some level, trust that everything is going to be okay. And so I find, I don't know, for whatever reason, just putting your hand there can kind of, it's a very self-soothing thing you can do. That for me anyways reminds me that everything is okay and that I can trust myself to take care of myself. And as long as you're breathing, life is moving through you and all again will be well. If you are dealing with anxiety, I have a lot of compassion for you. It's a horrible, horrible thing. I encourage you not to turn to antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications. That, again, isn't going to address what's really at the root cause of anxiety. Just like a nutritional deficiency, there's something at the root of that mental health deficiency or whatever's going on in your energetic self that's off. So you have to go through it, unfortunately, to, move past it. I hope this video helps you in one way or another. If you want any other specific advice with regards to this, please feel free to send me an inbox message. My website, www.teshiamaher.com. If you want to follow me on Facebook, my Facebook page is Teshia Maher and the Home of Living Live, and I have a really beautiful, vibrant community running there, so please join us. See you guys next week. Have a beautiful day, and maybe tomorrow take a mental health day for yourself if you feel you need one. You are the most important thing in your life, in your world. Bye.